back with another haul today. I've got a bit of merch off screen and then manga and manhwa to share. So as usual, I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into the haul, and there will be timestamps below if you want to jump around. So first off, I have this volume of Rainbow Days, volume 15. I can't believe that the series is already almost complete now. Volume 16 is the final volume of the series, so it's almost complete in my collection. I'm looking forward to doing a full read-through of it once I have all the volumes. I love this back cover illustration of the boys. I think this is the only shoujo series in my haul today, but it's one that I like a lot. I like the anime as well. It follows these 4 high school boys and each of their pursuits with their love interests up through their graduation, and I'm really excited that Viz just went ahead and is going to print volume 16 as well, because I wasn't sure, because volume 16 is a little bit like an epilogue volume, and I know that sometimes publishers don't print the final epilogue volumes, so really glad when I saw volume 16 available for pre-order, and looking forward to having all the volumes finally. I feel like it was just yesterday that I found out that Rainbow Days was getting an English release. Next, I have What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Volume 2. So in my last haul of manhwa and manga, I picked up volumes 1 to 6, excluding Volume 2, because I had picked them up in person when I was at a bookstore last, but they didn't have a Volume 2, so I had to get this ordered. And now with this volume, I have this series completed. And this one is one that I read recently that I really enjoyed. It's an office romance, and it is about this man who is extremely narcissistic, but his distress when his very, very capable secretary announces that she's leaving her position because she wants to focus on her own happiness moving forward rather than focusing on work and making money. And he's just distraught and doesn't know what he's going to do without her. It's only 6 volumes, but I did really, really enjoy it when I read it last month, I think. I like the art style in it, and I really liked the story. I was pretty surprised about the reveals partway through the story, but I really liked the romance in it. And I felt like the ending was really satisfying too. So really happy to have it complete in my collection now. And I'm excited for my husband to read it because I think he's gonna like it as well. Next, I have some shonen volumes, but before I get into those, I have some net prints that I got from the shonen series Kono Oto Tomare. I have since already put them in a binder, so I did have a recording of when I received the net prints and flipped through them. Kono Oto Tomare is one of my favorite series. It is a high school club series that follows a group of kids learning to play the koto and competing together. I really love the story and the characters. I love the found family elements and the bits of romance in it. I really love the anime because of the music, being able to hear the songs they're playing on the koto, which is not an instrument that I had ever heard before I watched the anime. But I was really glad I was able to manage to get these net prints from Japan as soon as I saw the mangaka announce about it on Twitter. And so as I mentioned, I put those net prints in binders already, and that's another exciting new pickup that I recently added to my shelves was 3 new giant A4 binders. One of them is for my husband and his merch collection, but 2 of them are for me and contain all of my paper goods for my manga fan art and official merch, my BL merch that I've picked up over the years. I've been searching for a solution for my paper goods storage ever since I started kind of having too much art for my shelves and I didn't have space to display all of it. And I'm so happy now that I've found these binders that worked for me. I've had a few binders in the past that I wasn't really satisfied with, so I'm really happy to have these ones now that I'm just 100% happy with. Upon receiving them and getting them all set up, I did do an Instagram live and spent just over an hour flipping through both of them and sharing my merch collection, but then also just sharing like what the binders were like and the different types of pages with the different sleeves in them. I'll have a link to that live in my video description if you want to take a closer look at that. But back to the books. Next is Kaiju number 8, volume 12. And I'm so excited that it's another Hoshina cover because he's my favorite. I have already read this content because I just, at intervals, will go through and read on the Shonen Jump app and catch up to where I left off the last time. At this point, I am a bit behind, I think, on the Shonen Jump app, but I know that I've read through this content already. But it's been maybe a month or two since I finally caught up on the anime. I really enjoyed the anime for Kaiju number 8, and I do quite enjoy this series, so still just picking up the physicals, and at some point I'm gonna do a reread and I'll be able to read through my physicals, but so far I've just been reading through the Shonen Jump app, but happy to have this in my collection and on my shelves. Next is Tokyo Revengers. And this is the final installment of this series, volumes 29 to 31, so the final omnibus volume, and it is thick. I was so cranky when I found out that the final 3 volumes were going to be released as a 3-in-1 because I just thought it would look ridiculous on the shelf, like already having the 2-in-1 omnibuses and then having this fat one on the end. I really was hoping that they would do 29 and 30 together as a 2-in-1 and then 31 as a single, mainly because 31 as a single would then be slim and would match the series guide that is also skinny, as well as all of the Baji's letter volumes that are also singles. So I was just super cranky about this, but then when I got it in the mail and put it on my shelf, I actually was pretty happy with how it looked. Like, it is noticeably chunkier, but it still looks pretty good just along with the other omnibus volumes. But then also because it's kind of a fat spine, it could fit both of these characters from this volume cover on the spine together. But the first couple pages have the other 2 volume covers. Since it was 3 volumes in this omnibus, we have 1 cover, and then like the other omnibus volumes, the other cover on the inside, but then the third volume on the inside as well. So I can't believe that this series is finally fully released now. This is another one that I just remember when its license was announced and how excited I was. And now it's already completed, and it was a really fast release too. And while I have already read the whole series in the past, I'm really excited to do a full read through now from my physicals. So I'm gonna have to plan when to do that, probably this summer sometime, but I'll be looking forward to it. I think I've said this with every volume of Tokyo Revengers that I've picked up the past like year and a half, but I really need to catch up on the anime. I only watched the first season of it, and I think through season 3 has already aired, maybe even season 4, or maybe season 4 is going to be airing. But I do like the anime, I just haven't gotten around to finishing it, but I have read all of it, so I just need to plan when I'm going to do my reread of the series and then also get to the anime so I can watch the rest of the series in its anime adaptation. And then next is Solo Leveling, Volume 11. And this is another one that I recently watched the anime adaptation. Just season 1, though. I haven't watched season 2 yet. I can't remember. I think season 2 might have just finished recently, but I haven't watched it yet. I didn't want to watch it while it was airing because I wanted to be able to binge it, so I'm looking forward to watching season 2. This is another one that I read the digital release already, so I have read the whole series. And similarly, I'm collecting the volumes as they release, and I'm waiting to read it until the physical release completes. So I've just been picking up the volumes, putting them on my shelf, admiring the spines because they're really colorful, but they're also a colorway that I like, a lot of like purples. So happy to be following this physical release and looking forward to when I reread it again. I feel like it's kind of fun when I wait to read something again for a while, because then I kind of forget things and then it's more like a fresh read. But then if I'm also watching the anime, then it'll still be fresh in my mind when I finally get to rereading it. But I like this story, so I'm a fan of solo leveling. Next is Jujutsu Kaisen. I just picked up these 2 volumes, volumes 8 and 9, for 2 reasons. One reason is because I'm a huge Toji fan, so I wanted to have the volume with his cover on it. But then I also wanted to get the 2 volumes that had the content for the hidden inventory arc. So I've read all of Jujutsu Kaisen on the Shonen Jump app, and there are a lot of things about this series that I like, but then there are a lot of things about this series that I don't really care for. So I was not intending to collect Jujutsu Kaisen, any of it. So last year, actually, I had bought volume 8 in Japanese just because I wanted the cover illustration. But I recently decided I wanted to have in print in my collection the parts of the story that Toji is in. And I was thinking about just getting the volume 9 in Japanese so that I would just have those 2 volumes. But I thought if I'm going to have them on my shelf, I may as well just get them in English so I can actually read them. So I picked up these 2 for the hidden inventory arc. They're just like a few panels that are just so iconic. And then also I'm trying to scale down a bit on my Toji pins. I do collect Toji pins, and I'm trying to kind of scale back on my P4P pins. So like this is a design that I have pinned, but because I have this now, I don't feel like I need to have the pin anymore, so I'll be able to part with it. And then now I can just focus on collecting Toji pins that are original art made into pins. So that was another reason why. But in addition to these 2 volumes, I also have volume 13, I believe, on the way. So I rented a chunk of volumes from my library and basically skimmed through these volumes to make sure that there wasn't any other miscellaneous Toji panels. And then as well as the Shibuya incident arc, kind of determining which volumes had Toji content, and I decided to get, I believe, volume 13 that had Toji in that arc, 2 of his major like fight scenes. So it is leaving out his scene on the rooftop when he's first brought back into that arc. But then that way, just with those 3 volumes, I can have almost all of the Toji panels in Jujutsu Kaisen together on my shelves. And then a few other JJK items while I'm talking about Toji. So I have a handful of artists that I follow on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram that predominantly draw Toji. And one of the artists, Pelican on Twitter, announced that they were releasing 2 art books with a collection of their art. And one of them would be R18 and one would be R15. So I was so excited when I heard that, because while I do enjoy seeing all of this art digitally, it's really special to me to be able to have that art in my physical collection as well. But then also being able to directly support these artists that I just really like their art styles by purchasing their artwork. So this one is R18, so I'm not gonna flip through it, but Midnight Snack. And then this one, again, just has art of Toji by this artist that I like their stuff. And I was really surprised that in addition to these books, in their listings, they said that there would be some little extras. And so I also got a little clear file with their art of Toji on it, as well as a sticker sheet. So just very cool to have all this stuff now. And then one more JJK fan item that I got recently too was this other art book by another artist. And I'll put the name of the artist in the video description. I usually will put it on the timestamps, but my friend did a group order because this was a artist overseas. And I was able to get a copy for myself of this collection of their artwork. And it is SatoSugu art, and I'm glad I was able to get a hold of it. I love too that they did a Naruto crossover. Oh, not my Kakashi ship, but they look really cool. And this is the one that's my favorite art in this book. So happy to have this one as well. And actually I have one more JJK art collection that was part of a care package that my friend sent to me. So there was a bit of merch that she sent along with these items here. So I've already since sorted all of the artwork into my binders, but there was a fan art print from Tokyo Revengers, as well as official net prints from Wet Sand, Legs That Won't Walk, Do You Still Like Me, and Lovesick Dog. And I was really glad too that she thought of me and got those printed for me, because those are series I like, but then also I had missed those releases. And actually, I don't remember if they're called net prints. I know in Japan they're called net prints, but then in Korea I think they're called something else, something similar. But she got some extra copies for me when she was getting some of them for herself. But I'm a huge art fan, so I'm really glad to have those pieces of art, and then also, like I mentioned earlier, a new binder to sort them all in really neatly. So then this art book too, I had never heard of this artist before, but they do a lot of SatoSugu, but then also had some fan art books with their art of just Gojo. And while Toji is my favorite, I also like Gojo, so. But I did take a look and I saw that this artist has several other fan books. So in the future, I do intend to pick up a few more of their books. Also in that care package was this little Yoshino figure of her as a little cat, a little sleepy cat. And it's so cute. So since getting this, I ordered Kirishima's version of it because I can't just have her by herself. So I ordered his as well so that they can be little sleepy cats together on my Raisei shelf. She's so cute. But I also have Kirishima's Nendoroid pre-ordered. So I don't think she's gotten a Nendoroid release yet, so I might be a little bothered having his Nendoroid by himself. So we'll see when it releases if hers has released yet or been announced yet for her getting one. But I love her little tail. But this was so cute. And then the highlight of the package was this acrylic stand from Lovesick Dog. So this is one of the kind of wintry scenes in the series. This is so cute of them in chibi, but this is a spicy cohabitation manhwa series that I really like. I read it last year and just fell in love with it. I've been begging my friends to read it. But up to this point, I haven't gotten any merch for it because the series itself only has a digital release. It doesn't even have a Korean physical release. And then the merch items that have been released, I was late to the series, so I was not able to get anything for myself. But she knew that I didn't have any merch and added this to her proxy order for me as a gift. So thank you so much, Summer. I love it. And it's been living on my cohabitation shelf since I got it. And then one last item that was in that package as well. I was really glad that she was willing to sell me some of her duplicate prints and photo cards from the recent cafe collab for the Insatiable Man. So I didn't collect the series in full for all of the merch items, but there were a couple prints that I had not gotten that I really wanted to have, as well as a couple PCs that I missed out on. So I got those ones and was able to add them to my own little collection of the Insatiable Man. Okay, now moving on to the rest of my books. Actually, I have one last merch item, so I'll share that real quick since it is another BL manhwa. And it is this Codename Anastasia PC of Zhenya. So I just picked this one up secondhand because I did not have a proxy order open while this was in stock, while they were doing this collab. But I am a fan of this series. I've read the manhwa, but I've also read ahead in the novels, and I'm really excited about where the story's going. I've read through novel 6, which is 6 out of 10, and season 1 of the manhwa has just the first 2 novels, the content from those 2 novels. But I love this scene from the manhwa when they're in the sauna and he starts getting a little too grabby and gets thrown for it, and then is super amused that he was manhandled like that and thrown on the ground like this. So really looking forward to season 2 when the series comes back and getting to see the rest of the story in this artist style. Next, I have volume 22 of What Did You Eat Yesterday? And I was so excited to get this in the mail as a pre-order because I did not start collecting this series until it was already released through volume 21. So last year, I just gradually picked up the whole series 1 to 21, and then this one is a new release. I haven't read it yet. I just finished reading volume 21 a week or 2 ago, so I'm gonna get into this one next, and then I'll be caught up. I believe in Japan they have released through maybe volume 24. I remember seeing the volume cover for it, so we're still a little bit behind, but I'm excited to get into this one. And then once I read 22, I have a new doujinshi volume of Kenji Toshiro-san that I'm gonna read as well. But I love cooking, and I really enjoy the content in this series, the slice of life content of their day-to-day lives as they cook and eat together and then face different challenges together as they're getting older and have concerns about their families and just what their futures hold for each of them. I don't know, I just really appreciate too a romance between older individuals. They're both in their late 50s at this point, when as a reader in my 30s who enjoys romance, but just I see so much romance that is high school set or characters in their early 20s. So it's just kind of refreshing to me to see an older couple and just their day-to-day and their romance, and I really enjoy this series. The next 2 volumes were sent to me as review copies from Yen Press and Ice Press. Thank you so much. I did actually read both of them immediately upon receiving them. So I got Loverboy Volume 1 and Semantic Error Volume 2. So first, Loverboy Volume 1. So I believe that this is going to be a 5-volume release. And this is one that I have read before online, and I enjoyed it. I've read The New Employee or The New Recruit online as well, which is art by this artist, but the story is written by a different writer, whereas this one is written and the art is done by them as well. But this one has a lot of pain and angst in it, but it has a lot of really cute flashbacks to when the characters are younger. It follows a young man who's in university who re-encounters his first love, who is a man 8 years older than him that he grew up with as his neighbor. The older man has a lot of baggage that he is kind of dealing with. I really like that the setting of this, well, not the entire setting, but a lot of the setting is kind of art related, as the older man has an art studio where he gives lessons. And even though the main character is not an artist, he is looking for opportunities to be closer to him and spend more time with him. So he starts taking lessons and trying to kind of rekindle their friendship and make him aware of his feelings for him. So looking forward to the next volume release as well. I was pretty happy with the formatting of this. It's always a bit disorienting for me whenever I've read something online and then I read it from the print release, because I'm used to just scrolling and just having one panel, scroll, one panel, and then it's reformatted to be like 6 panels on one page. But it was really easy to read, and we'll be looking forward to the rest of the volumes. And then Semantic Error, Volume 2. I was surprised that I was sent this as a review copy because I thought that they would only send Volume 1s, but I was happy to get this one because I do like this series. I have read this one as well already in the past, so I've been enjoying rereading it with the physical release. This one too, I'm really happy with the formatting. It's really easy to read. And then this one, just the story is really fun. This one is a uni-set one and follows 2 students who meet and have the worst impression of each other. But then they kind of become friends, and there's some romance that develops as they're starting to work on a video game together and the programming and art aspects of it. But really looking forward to the future releases of this one too. It was announced on their social media platforms that Volume 3 was going to be R18, whereas Volumes 1 and 2 have been rated older teen. And they made a big deal to announce that this would be the first time that the content would be rated explicit, because the webtoon release was also, I believe, rated just older teens. So I'll be looking forward to that. But enjoyed this one as well and looking forward to future volumes of it. And then lastly, this big stack of books right here of the series, Black or White volumes 1 to 9. So I actually have had a few of the volumes trickling in a bit earlier, like maybe a month and a half ago, but I was kind of just waiting on all of the volumes to arrive before sharing them in a haul video, because I actually ordered all of them at the same time and they got split into like a million different orders, and then some of them shipped like immediately, and then some of them took about a month to get to me. So I don't really know why, but I'm happy that they all arrived safely. So Black or White, this is an R18 BL manga that follows these 2 guys who are on every cover together. I really like this series. I've been following its release, but I just hadn't picked up the volumes yet because I just wanted to see where the story was going to go. I kind of wanted to wait until there was an end in sight because I didn't know if this was going to go on to be like 30 volumes. But it was recently announced that the final chapter would be releasing in the quarterly issue of whichever magazine it's serialized in. I forget which magazine, but the end of April, the final chapter would be released. So I know the English release is a bit behind the Japanese volume release. We're on volume 9 right now, and I think the Japanese release is through volume 13. So I'm not sure if the series is going to end with volume 14 or if the Japanese physical release is behind as well, and it might be volume 15. I'm not sure. But whenever I saw that announcement, I was like, okay, I'll pick up the volumes now. But I really like this series. It follows these 2 guys who are both actors, and they have such opposite personalities in public. One of them is always cast as kind of like a good-looking, princely type of character, and then the other character is often cast as a villain and is less popular. But then in private, they've been seeing each other for quite a while and have much different personalities in private when they're just with each other. But I really like the setting of them being in the entertainment industry. I'm not sure where it happens, like in one of the more recent volumes. There's a big reveal about something that's been weighing on them, and it was kind of a big cliffhanger about if people would find out and what was going to happen. But I recently read ahead through, I think, volume 13 from the Japanese release, so I'm really happy with the upcoming developments that we'll get to read soon from the English release. And I'm really excited to read the finale. I really like these guys and really just want them to be happy. I also really like the side characters too. So we'll be eagerly waiting for the Japanese volume 14 to release so I can see if it has the finale in it, but then I'll just be picking up the rest of the English volumes as they release as well. And this is everything this time around. A bit more manga and manhwa than I usually have just in my kind of monthly haul videos, but mainly due to just picking up all of Black or White in bulk. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these series and what you think about them. I'm really excited to have all of them now. And it's kind of exciting that of all of the new volumes that I have, including new releases, I think this is the only one I still need to read. The rest of them I've read, so. Really excited to get all of these on my shelf though, because as they've been coming in, I've just been putting them in a stack in the corner so that I wouldn't forget about any of them when I was doing this haul video. And I always love when it's time to clean up my manga pile and get them on my shelves. I'm really excited. I'm hoping by the time I film my next haul video, I'll have a few certain things that have arrived. I just recently in March got into Danmei, and I have my first couple items on the way. At this point, I've read 3 series, a single volume series, a 2-volume series, and then a 3-volume series. And then I have a bit of a TBR of Danmei that I'm looking forward to getting into over the next couple months. But I do have some physical copies on their way to me. The ones that I've read so far have been ebooks, so I was just kind of testing the waters, but then found a couple that I wanted to have in my collection. So really looking forward to getting those in and being able to share them on here. So stay tuned for that. But this is everything for this time around. I hope you enjoyed watching me going through everything. I think as usual, I got excited and just was talking about the release rather than what some of the series were about, so sorry about that. But I will see you again soon in another video. Thanks for watching.